Okay, so episode 5 dropped of Slasher, Flesh and Blood. Let's get into this. Um, I am really liking this show so far. Like, TV isn't usually my thing. I'm more of a movie person. It takes a lot out of me to actually, dedicate, 8 to 12 hours of multiple sittings, unless you're, binge watching the show. But to actually, watch a TV show, you have to grab my attention within the first 2 to 5 minutes of a show, or I'm like, yeah, nah, pass. So it's just it takes a lot out of me, and then with the whole movie going experience, it's like 2 hours in and out. It's like it's a real quick experience. You've seen a story again, you've seen it come full circle, and all that. Unless it leaves on a cliffhanger, but that's a different story. So yeah, this is a show that, like I've been covering, weekly on my channel as each episode drops and each episode airs. I'll be reviewing them individually. Usually with TV shows, usually I watch like all 12 episodes or all 12 hours of a season, and then I review the season as a whole on my channel. So I don't usually review individual episodes. But since this series, like they're releasing, episodes weekly, and it's not like Netflix where they release like at midnight, like they release, like season 2 of like Stranger Things, all 13 episodes of that, and all that. This show, and plus it gives me like new fresh content to talk about, each week and all that, and I'm really enjoying the show so far. So yeah, I like talking about the show. My reviews for this show have been very successful, and you guys seem to like me talking about the show, so I'm gonna keep it up. But anyways, let's get into episode 5 of Slasher, Flesh and Blood. So this was an episode I was excited to see where it was going to go, because last episode, I believe the character's name was Sarah. I don't. Actually, yeah, that's the thing about the shows I don't really like, is the characters. Some of them are just really bingy and whiny assholes. Like there are some really annoying characters in this. But yeah, we saw what's her name's mother get buried in the sand, and and she suffocated and all that. And then in this movie, we see the aftermath. We see her dead body, and then when we see her dead body in this episode, there's like scorpions like crawling all over her and on her eyeballs and all that. It's like it's really graphic. Makeup looks really good on it. And another thing I really like about this show is each episode there's always a twist and turn that you don't expect. And so, like, they're expanding this story with each episode. Like, there's always more lore, there's more history, there's more drama with this family that we learn, like, each episode. And this is a great TV series where each episode gives you more of what you want, and more of really what the theme and the tone of the show is really about. Like, at heart, I would say this show is very much drama. Like this, it definitely has horror aspects and horror elements, but this is most definitely more of a drama story between the family and the history that they have gone through. Which, like, only last episode, we found out that the one who got buried in the sand was actually the one who called the guys to come and kidnap Vincent, which is why he was gone for 20 or so odd years. It was a twist that I really like that twist. Like the execution on it, like I thought was really good, because it really gave off that sense that this family really hate each other. And like as we saw in the beginning, in episode 1, like from the start, we saw that this family, they didn't have that happy celebration, like, hi, how are you going, like it's been 15 years since I've seen you, how have you been, how's your kids and all that. I really like how the show has expanded more on the family drama storyline and how each episode there's always something new to reveal to the audience that we don't know previously, and just I love that story direction that this show is taking, because it adds many more layers to the story that we are seeing, front and center of it, and it's giving a whole family timeline of events, which yeah, I really dig that about the show. I really dig that. Jumping back into episode 5, this is one of the more exciting episodes of this season, where the challenge is a lot more exciting. It's a lot more physical. Where the people who are still alive, like the remaining family members, they have to grab a paintball game, but the twist there is there's not actually paintball. There's not actually paintballs inside the guns, and it's rubber balls, and so when they're shooting at each other, like the distance of it, it would hurt a lot more on impact. Which you learn also in this episode that David Cronenberg's character, like, he never really cared about safety, and so that's why when they go to that cupboard, there's there's no safety chest, or there's no goggles for protection, because he didn't believe in protection. And so this is another challenge where it's last man standing, like, to progress onto the next game. You have to do what's best for you, and that's the other thing I do like about this show, is I like how they continuously refer back to David Cronenberg's character. I love how his character is kind of like the Tobin Bell of the Saw franchise, where they kill Jigsaw in Saw 3, but he continues to show up, in Saw 4, in Saw 5, and all throughout that franchise. He continuously shows up in flashbacks. To talk about Florence, because this is a really interesting character, psychologically, because she has a completely different mindset to everybody else. And she has no guilt or shame with killing people. We've seen her snap before, and and stab people, and see people getting brutally violated in front of her. So yeah, so we've seen this vicious shit, and we've seen how far she will go and how fucked up in the head she really is. And so I can see why a lot of people would think she is the killer. But to me, it's too obvious. And Slasher has always been really smart with their twist and with their reveals. So I don't think it will be her, because that will be just too obvious to be okay, she's killed someone, she's the killer. I don't think I feel like that would be too obvious at that point. Seeing her kill someone, which we saw in episode 2, I feel like it's too obvious. I feel like it's too obvious to point out her as the killer. It could be next episode will tell what happened to her, since at the end of this episode she's chained to that pole thing, and then she's left there as bait, basically, to the killer. But yeah, speaking on her character, there's a scene towards the end of this episode where it's a flashback with David Cronenberg's character, where it's set at a dinner table, and she received this letter. She received this letter saying her art got accepted and all that, and she gets really excited. And then there's a scene after that, I believe, where she takes Theo into this dark room with a blindfold on, and Theo is just listening to these surround sound speakers that are retelling the kidnapping of Vincent. Which why? That's what I mean. How can any of her art get accepted when this is the type of art she comes up with? To me, that scene, that is not art. Like that is not you are fucking tormenting him. Like by making him revisit like a dark place of his past, like that is not art. Like yes, art does show a lot of emotion, but that is taking it to a like that is crossing the line. So that is not art. Um, yeah, and then Theo just freaks out and says like, "Why are you showing me this?" and all that. And what happens after that? And then she has this display made up in front of him where you see Vincent's old clothes. So there was the green jacket and the red beanie and all that. And fucking she clicks this button and then blood starts pouring out. Like what type of sick person do you have to be to actually show that to the person that has already lived the real life event of that? Like you are fucking sick, bitch. Like I am so sorry. There is no that is not right on any human level to show that to someone who has already had a hard time living with that fact that he let two people take his brother away. Like I'm so sorry, and it's just like that's something that still haunts him, and he thinks about like every day, which is one of the things that we really like about this character is there's a level of sympathy, there's a level of of character emotion. We can sympathize with him as not only as a character but then also like as a brother to brother kind of thing. Another thing about this character that makes her really unlikable, which I feel like her character is written to be likable. I mean, just likable. What the fuck am I talking about? Unlikable. So, because like there is not a single like good or relatable thing about this character. Like from the moment she appeared in the show, she's been an instant bitch. Like yeah, like she is not a good character. But the other thing that I really hate about her is the fact that she says one thing and then like a minute later she double crosses that person. Like there's a scene in this when they're playing paintball, and she shoots the other chick in the eye, and runs away. Like nothing happened, which it says how evil she is, but like as much as that does build up a very killer kind of personality, I don't feel like I don't feel like she is the killer. Like I feel like she's going to die next episode. The way that this ending is like where it's leading to and all that, and like what you last hear. Like I don't think she's going to be the killer. I think she's gonna be gone next episode. Like anyways. Um, like I still think hands down Vincent's the killer. Like, cause like think about it this way as well. Like every episode, every situation this character is put into, like he tries to push himself in the background. Like he's in the background of every big situation. Like I've been noticing that since episode two, since the ending of episode two, he's always been in the background. He's never been in the forefront. He's never been one of the people helping out or he's always been the one to kind of push himself in the background to make himself like the least noticeable and the one that you will point fingers at to be the killer. And yeah, like I did a whole video on who I think the killer is, and my guess is Vincent still. Like Theo, Theo I think does like I think he's close up there as being the killer as well. Because I'm also looking at the end of the last episode. Vincent and Theo were the only two people that knew what's the name was that like that she went outside or she escaped, and all that. So um, yeah, it's one of them too. Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode, and I am really curious to see episode 8. I believe episode 7 and 8 they're being premiered together, so it will be a double feature I'll be doing for that review. When episode 7 and 8 come out, is I'll be reviewing probably episode 7 and 8 together, since that's the way they're being released. So, well, as far as I know, that's how they're being released. But I know episode 6 that's being released as an individual, but then I heard today that episode 7 and 8 that they're going to be released as a double feature. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm looking forward to finding out who the killer is. Place your bets in the comments. Like I want to see what everybody else thinks. Who do you think is the killer? Like I've heard some really creative comments from people, and let me know why. Let me know why you think that person as well. Because you know, like that's one of the fun things of this show is the whole who done it. You know, it's the whole who done it like element of this show. Like I want to know who you think it is and what your reasons are for that person. And have you seen episode 5 and what did you think of it? Let me know all your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below. So anyways guys, you have a good rest of your day, evening or night, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, bye.